Why? It's probably coming on the computer.
Where's that?
Full volume on volume on TV. Sit here on my phone. Mute the phone. Not hearing anything. Yeah, crickets.
Like literally.
Yeah. You're showing me. I know, but that's on this one. This is where it's here. Can't turn the volume off. Nobody else knows this.
I wonder if that's because when you you're to Evergreen, not watching TBS, right? I can't be on there. You said Evergreen? Oh, everything.
But my phone's on high. Hello? Yeah, I don't know why I can't adjust it.
Did I think I tried it? Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Hello.
Okay, so I left the room.
Oh yeah, got it. Got it.
Okay, so I left.
Sound below.
Yeah, we just need somebody that's joining the room.
I just want.
Okay, so below. Yeah, we just need somebody that's joining.
So that's about a good 15, 25-second delay. About a 20-second delay.
That
With the live.
that's the live feed.
Yeah. So well,
The actual Zoom meeting.
Yeah. So the delay is just on the 20-second delay.
So what we need is people to join the Zoom.
Is there anyone in the lobby? No. We got one participant. That's because of the link deal.
Yeah.
And we're just doing a great job today.
So what is wrong with the link? So the one that's on the Facebook page is correct.
I want to check out the name. Click the new.
Yeah, go ahead. So I'm reading to their phone.
You already put the link on this Federation page, Paul? The one that we're on now, you already put it on the Federation page? On the Facebook, rather? Yeah. Give it up. 15. Good morning. Is that,
Got some audio.
that's TV.
Somebody want to get in.
I think that's why it was best for the audio.
Okay.
The biggest thing is getting that link out to the link out to the public though, because we don't have anybody.
Well, we got Kim's cars figured it
Oh,
out.
there we go. Kim got in there.
Hey,
Oh, yeah, we can hear Kim. Okay, so that way.
you can hear me?
Can you hear us?
Yep, I sure can.
Perfect.
Nice.
Thanks, you big trucker.
Mr. B. Happy Saturday, Mr. B.
Thank you, Dad. Mr. B. What's going on?
Hanging out at Bass Pro Shop, you know, doing Bass Pro Shop thing.
I thought you'd get on the main floor.
No, this is
We had
the.
to get him away from the tank.
I know.
He was catching all the fish.
I got security out there blocking the tank.
So we're just going through some technical difficulties here, trying to get everything hooked up. It seems the link that we have through our email is not a correct link. I don't know how to share it.
Yeah, I got to use a different browser.
Why that's not.
You say you had to use a different browser, Kim?
I did, yeah.
What do you know? Like, do you normally use Google or
I think I had to use Chrome.
Chrome? So that might be something wrong. Let's see in relation to the browser. I don't know.
Update required. I'm going to update the Zoom workplace.
Maybe do an update.
Yeah.
Well, if you know this things don't, if we can't like have the meeting, there, we'll just stuck with press till next year. I'm sorry, man. Don't make rules.
We got enough for quorum here.
We go vacation, but
So we took to Dallas and flew back a few weeks ago. Close it out. Good fish.
did you go to the pool? Well,
City Island.
yeah. Did you go up there?
Yeah. Yeah.
The joint
No, we found more down.
down below. Really?
Yeah, something with that link is not working.
What do you do down with those? Yeah. Love that. Cool.
Sure face and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We would see this. Like,
Right.
Can you copy that link out of that email?
We went down to Oregon for that Tuesday tournament last week. You know, but just to escape the rain here last tournament.
yeah.
You can do it on the computer.
Front they came in to kill the fight. Like they didn't kill it, but nothing but those
Same one they probably talked about on place.
30, 35 of them, but 3.5 were the biggest.
So we go to.
The biggest we could find was like I caught 3.5 large and I was about 370 small each. But it wasn't even we didn't even weigh them. Jason Virgil won it. His best shoes 12.58. Hold the bar felt like it was such a large amount. I got the large amount loaded down there. That one large I caught, I was just surprised he was. I'm like, what? You hate that beat? Like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I was drop shot on the weed line.
Go to the.
I watched that. It was always someday we watched 500 feet right in front of that. Came up on the But you know, can't throw in that bad press get filled in there.
So it says there's only 2 participants, myself and Paul Bean.
Yeah, that's Paul Bean and all of us here. We're just trying to figure out where the link is. We're trying to copy it, paste it over into the email. So,
Yeah, but am I the only one on Zoom? Is that what you're saying?
yes.
If you don't
Oh,
think your email,
Hey Kim, where did you get the access to that link that you're on right now that you joined with?
it doesn't connect.
On our Federation page or
Repeat, please. What?
the link that you joined this call with? Where did you get it from?
The very last email that Tony sent out.
The email.
But it wouldn't accept the browser that I had. I had it.
That's what the link said.
I think I had to use Safari or Chrome in order to get it to open. It said link not supported.
Yeah, and mine's saying it's invalid.
Yeah. Well, can you go back to a previous link? Weren't there going to be more people? Everybody is in person. I'm the only Zoom person.
Would be this one, join instruction.
Actually,
Yeah.
See, this should be the meeting, right?
yeah, one meeting.
Okay. We can post that up.
I can only tell one.
So when I was doing this,
Oh, cancel.
it kept saying invalid meeting.
You don't want to order it. Can you try to flip up the email?
I'm on the. Well, you know what? No, the email they show us has my work email. I'm private. So,
Yeah, like Katie left over.
oh,
You know, at my parents' house, we lived
Valid meeting ID. Join instructions.
Well, if you go in Zoom, create a meeting.
Maybe you can. Go ahead and take it out.
I got that same.
It's valid.
Yeah. We get browsers.
Yeah, the only way to get in is to go through the Facebook page.
Well, you figure some people would be texting either one of you guys if they were trying to get in. So
yeah, I don't doubt that. I bet the majority of people are just watching live though. I can probably see how many people are live. Should tell us right here. 5 people. So Washington Federation, Evergreen, Paul, and Bing Team. So nobody's watching live.
Probably lose a bunch and we don't get going.
I told Tony, man, we ain't got no audience, dude. He's stuck to next year.
You'll drag you into it.
Oh, you know I got his back. What's that caution sign up there? What does that mean? I'm start pressing buttons. I don't want to mess anything else up. Mm.
Okay, so I just sent out another link. See if we get that. So Dusty, you should be on that email. See if you got that email.
Well, remind me to update my email to my personal. If you got that enough work. So, okay. I keep those two affairs separate. I just have a key success. Keep doing.
Yeah, it's working.
There we go.
Okay. So that link is
Yeah, I think they just simply level one.
You know, my wife's out shopping in the store. This is costing me. Let's get this thing going.
You let her
Every minute, it's just cha-ching, cha-ching.
Hey, look, she's put in the work to make those profitable payments out there. Be all right.
Well, that, like I said, that week works, John, so I guess we just get started and people.
Look how far that full shop some of their hats got. But remember, like, they used to have like this basic hats, but they already got cool ones now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that cool.
what's the place?
$20.
Huh?
$20. Yeah, go back.
I remember when the dealers gave us hats.
I remember those days. Those days. Remember those days.
I haven't bought a hat in 35, 40 years.
okay. So anybody that's we're gonna go ahead and get started here.
Except
So Paul, your secretary, are you taking notes here? I haven't even tried to even get ready for the meeting yet. Been fighting all this technical stuff.
Very good.
A couple folders out here. Okay, here you go, Paul. Here's a couple of people. Just kind of a meeting agenda. November, yep. That's all I got. Just made a couple of copies there. Okay, looks like we got Doug joining us. All right, Doug, I apologize for the technical difficulties we had there get going. It looks like we at least have enough for a quorum here. We are going to start this meeting, so it is November 1st. We are at 1:17. We're gonna go ahead and start the meeting. Meeting has been called to order. Paul, you are ready for taking notes? Okay.
We are going to start the meeting, so it is November 1st, we are at 1:17.
Whatever.
So we start the meeting. And all in order. We follow you already.
Okay, it looks like we've got a bad feedback here on our,
We are
we have to turn some volume down. All right, we've got about a 25-second delay here on our broadcast. We're trying to figure out what's going on with it. We'll get it here in a minute. We may not be able to hear you right now, but at least we don't have that feedback going. Can you guys still hear us? Can you still hear us, Cam? Just shake your head. Yes? No? Okay. As long as you guys can hear us, that's good. We will try to turn the volume up and get some sound going. So we called the meeting to order at 1:17, November 1st. We are at Bass Pro Shops. We're going to do a little bit of a roll call here, just so that we know who is here. I am Tony Steiner. I am the president of the Washington State Bass Federation. I am also from the Long Lake Bass Club, and I'm going to pass it down this way. Dusty?
Dusty Kinley, Evergreen Bass Club, treasurer for the federation.
I am the president of the Washington State Bass Federation. I am also from the Long Lake Bass Club.
All right, we're still getting that bad echo back there, so I'm not quite sure where that's coming from.
Evergreen Bass Club, treasurer for the federation.
I just turned it off.
All right, so get that from that there. So
Yeah, the delay is still on there. I'm not sure where it's coming from.
It could be from.
Oh, hold on. Let me see. I think I know where it's coming from. Let me go right here, which is here.
Somebody in here on the.
Can you mute that? Sorry, it's a horrible feedback that we're getting.
So we do mute all until just do a mute all. Like your right background.
Yeah, but where's the sound coming from? I think it's this one. There. How's that?
Okay, hey Kim, say something. Kim. Oh, Kim.
Yeah, it's okay. It says not hearing anything, turn volume up. So
Oh.
as long as we're not hearing it and you guys can hear us, we're okay.
That's what I don't think they can hear. Oh, he just did. The sound he can't hear. Can you hear? Yeah, we can't hear him.
Yeah, I know we can't hear him. I turned everything up because I didn't want that.
But they can't hear us.
Our volume is up.
Hey Kim, give me a thumbs up if you can hear us. Okay.
No.
He says he can hear us.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were with Dusty. Dusty introduced himself. Just to keep going around the room.
Dave Muscari, the Jack's Youth Director.
Phil Martin, Mount St. Helens.
Bob Steiner, President, Long Lake Bass Club.
Jeff Ruffin, Vice President, and Phil Pompler.
Adam Gablehouse, the West Side Representative.
Ball Bean, Secretary of Washington State Bass Federation and President of the Great Bass Club.
And it looks like we have Kim Scar online. He's Lake Chelan. We have Doug Jorgensen online. He is Puyallup. We have Jeff Turk online. And Jeff, you're Spokane, I believe. Rich Kraft, and you're Puyallup. So we have plenty of people on there. We will get to Spokane. Yes. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, you guys type that in there, and we can definitely see the pop-ups when you type something. So with our sound being really screwy, it really helps us if you can type. That worked really well. Thanks, Jeff. Okay. We're just gonna go down. Do we have the minutes from the last meeting?
You took the notes.
All right. Here's the last meeting. You want to read those off real quick? Just hit the highlights.
Yeah, so basically, we talked about 2025 season as it being complete, the Angler of the Year champs, and the high school scholarship, and those championships. We discussed the national semifinals, sign-ups, new business. We talked a little bit, touched a little bit on the 2026 season. Got the basically talked about doing the same thing we did this year by using the club open with qualifiers. We formally introduced Dave Wazankari. He's going to be taking over for Randy Thompson. And then we didn't have anything committee meetings or committee reports. So basically that was all we had.
All right. Do I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes as read? Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
I
All right. So we have minutes from the last meeting. We're good. All right. We're going to have treasurer's report. Dusty, do you have that?
Savings, we have 28.31 and 10 cents. Checking 56.99 and 56 cents. Probably actually transfer some over to savings so we can get like 25 cents more per month on interest. And there's actually, I can ask you later or now if there's two transactions that I have questions on.
Okay.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably Peter's, okay.
Yeah. We've been working on our website, getting our everything all straightened out with our web addresses and everything. And we can go into that a little bit if we want to. So if we got time. right now, I want to keep this kind of fairly short. We've got some important business to take care of. We're going to make sure that we get that done. I'm going to quickly recap the 2025 season. So we had our full 12 tournament series to crown an Angler of the Year. We had 11 teams that fully qualified that fished three events. And out of that, we had Adrian and Cody took our Angler of the Year, and they will be going to the national tournament next year as Angler of the Year champions. From there, we qualified people. I believe we had 37 teams that qualified for national semifinals. We actually had about 20 that fished it. So 20 that actually fished the national semifinals down at Boardman. And our winners were Jeff Ball from Columbia Basin Bass Club and Ed Bullich from Evergreen, correct?
Right.
Yes. All right, so those are our winners out of the national semifinals, and they will be joining Adrian and Cody next year at the national semifinals, which we still don't know where that is. That doesn't get announced till later in the year. We have to wait for every state to hold their event before they announce that. So that was just kind of a quick overview of last year. For those winners that are advancing on, so we try to take care of the winners going on to the national tournament. And really, this is a lot of what the Federation does. So when we hold our tournaments during the year, we're raising money to hold on to send these guys to these national tournaments. So when we're doing an 80% payout at our tournament, 80% of that's going back to the fishermen at that tournament. That extra 20% is being held on to send our national guys. So with this organization being a nonprofit, we're not making any money. We're just holding on to that money and giving it back to our fishermen later in the year. So that's what that money is for. When we go to the Jamboree, when we hold those events, that money is being held on to those people going to nationals. So we have set aside $3,000 that we're going to send to our four guys that are going to the nationals. We'll probably break it up like $1,000 to each one of the boaters because they got to tow a boat down there, and $500 to each one of the co-anglers to give them a flight down there. Once they get there, room and board is paid for by national office. It's not, well, they have some type of stipend when they get there. So they're not completely left on their own when they're there either. But we get them a big head start on getting there. Another thing that we do here at the Federation is we kind of help those guys with sponsorship getting to the national. So a couple of years ago, we had one of our guys go and we made the shirts like what Paul's wearing there. Spokane Valley Marine put in some money. We had Fishaholics put in some money. We had a couple other sponsors put in, and one of our anglers actually made $2,200 just off of advertising on his jersey to help fund his way to the national office. So at the Federation level, we kind of help those guys a little bit, try to give them connections where we can. We don't do the legwork. We just try to help them out with different avenues to try to get that. So what we're doing is we're trying to help the winners of our state. We want to make them feel like they're special, they're recognized, and they're being taken care of. So that's what we're doing at the state level. And we're holding all these events and all the way through the year and making all of these sponsorship connections. We're doing it for all of you guys out there, so all the anglers. That's what we're trying to do at the Federation level. So the next thing on my agenda is I want to have a tabletop discussion of the topics that I set out at the last meeting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through these. There's 10 things that I'm going to read through. And then we're just going to get like maybe one person comment on one thing, or we're just going to get one comment on each one of them as we go around. So I was hoping everybody would be able to go out to their clubs, present these to their clubs at the last meeting, have some discussion on them, and bring some discussion back here. I don't want to make this too long and too drawn out, but I do want to have some discussion on these. So let me read through this list of 10 questions that I posed to the entire Federation. So number one, how does your club view the Federation? So what is the Federation to your club? Number two, what has your club done for the Federation? Number three, the Federation is not a club, but a combination of all the TBF clubs. And currently that's 10 TBF clubs throughout the state. Number four, what is the purpose of the Federation? Why do we even have it? Number five, should all clubs be assisting the Federation? So when we're having an event, should all clubs be helping out? Kind of like what we do at the Jamboree. We have every club in there. Number six, unity and sponsorship sharing. You know, should we be sharing sponsorships and, you know, all of our work and stuff between all of our different clubs? We all are one unity. Um, so should we be sharing that? Number 7 kind of goes to the same point, talent and labor sharing. You know, that there's different clubs have different talent levels and things that they do. Some are good at, you know, running the weigh-in. Some are good at doing the IT stuff. Some are good at other things. You know, should we be sharing some of that labor and talent between us? Number 8, in what way can the federation help your club? So, what, as the state organization, what can we do for your club exactly? Number 9, what could the federation be if all of the clubs united in all of our efforts? So, if you know, when we held a federation event, it was all 10 clubs were there helping put it on. You know, what would that look like? And number 10 was just motivate, not criticize. So I try to give that to everybody. You know, don't say, well, the federation's not doing this, not doing that. Don't be like that. You know, motivate. You know, what can we do? Yeah, let's do this. Or, you know, be a motivating factor, not a criticizer. So that's just my last thing on there. So I want to go to the first one. We'll start right there. How does your club view the federation? Does somebody want to give me an answer on how your club views the federation? I'm going to start here in the room. Does somebody have an answer on that?
I think the federation should be the voice of all the 10 clubs. I look at it more from the federation working with the state and some of the ridiculous things that come out for the warm water. And we have, the more voices we have going to that, through that one person or one organization to get to the state officials, the better it's going to be. If it's individuals, it's not going to work. We need to have one large voice speaking up for our sport.
I can speak for Evergreen, just knowing the stance in Evergreen. Most of our guys see it as a stepping stone to getting to the big stage. And a large point of pushing their angler dreams forward. You know, some of them grew up like me as kids that watched Bill Dance, Jimmy Houston, and read Outdoor Life. Couldn't wait for the next Bass Pro magazine. So,
Yeah, but I think I'll speak on behalf of our club, the Yellow Hawk Hunters. It's pretty much the same what Paul just described here. We also look forward to the Jamboree every year. You know, that's always been a staple. I think most clubs have that same consensus throughout. You know, Jamboree participation and qualifier participation.
Okay. I'm going to give a comment back here on just those couple of things that I heard. So one about the political side of it, like what Phil's talking about, having a stance. So I grew up kind of, my dad was in the federation pretty much from the beginning. So I grew up on, you know, on the outsides looking into the federation as my dad taking part of it, and me just kind of being there. But I saw the federation as the driving force that got the warm water and tournament fishing started here in Washington State. They've had a political voice for a long, long time in the state. The state recognizes that. The game department does work with the federation, and we do have a political voice with the federation. We're now 10 clubs strong, and if there was an issue right now today that we needed to go to the Capitol building, I believe that we have the full voice of 10 clubs in the entire state to take it to the state level. So we have that there. We haven't really put any effort into doing a collaborative event with the state right now. The state has had zero money to do any warm water program stuff, but now with the increase of our license fee, a lot of that increase went into the warm water program. So the warm water program is going to be getting going again and doing some things. And Paul already has some connections with Alex, and they're going to be doing some things next year together. So we're already working on having that connection through the game department and being able to have some political power. And Phil, I completely agree. All of the clubs need to be united on one front politically to be able to combat some of this silly things that we see out there. Some things that have accomplished on my watch of being a president is the Walleye Group. The Walleye Group had this behind closed doors handshake that when they put in a permit for a tournament, they automatically get it. And we know through our WAC that only 2 tournament weekends per month can be given. So we almost lost the Jamboree this last year because the Walleye Group put in for 1 weekend and another group put in for another weekend. And that would have left us without the Jamboree, not even able to get a permit, which wasn't right. So I went to the state and I said, we got to fix this. And the state did it. So they listened to our voice. So the Walleye Group now has the same rules that we have. They put in for a permit, and then it goes into the conflict agreement after that. There is no automatically getting a permit for the walleye groups, because that was taken away from one weekend of what some bass team or bass tournament trail wanted to have another weekend. They completely took away from that, and it wasn't right. So we got that fixed. So, I've had a little bit of workings with the game department. We have worked in there as much as we can, but like I say, there hasn't been a whole lot going on. There's supposed to be some type of improvement project on Moses Lake, but they've been putting it off because of budget restraints. So that has never got going. The barge that we sold, we wanted to sell that to the game department. Again, there was just no money there. They just couldn't get the money. So we eventually sold that out of state, and it's now gone. But the state has enough equipment. When they want to do something, we can make it happen. And the federation, I was definitely ready to go anytime they wanted to do a project. We could have got volunteers. That's not a problem. Federation has always stepped up doing that kind of stuff. As far as going to the national tournaments and stuff, yes, that this is the avenue that the federation gives people a chance to go to a national stage, and it's the only stage that we have right now that we can get there. So I don't know if BASF still has their stage of getting there. It might be. It's a little convoluted right now. They just changed formats, but we definitely give them a good stage. We fund the guys to get there. We make sure that they're taken care of. So it's a great way for people to fish and get into a national stage. So with that, I'm going to go on to my next question. What has your club done for the federation? Has your club done anything to help the federation besides the tasks that we do at the Jamboree?
I'll start. I'm actually kind of proud, and my involvement with the federation, speaking on behalf of the all hog hunters, started when I first joined the club by rest in peace Larry Williams. This who got me involved in the federation, and he was an officer for the federation for a number of years. And so I can say unequivocally on behalf of our club, we've always had an officer in place in the federation.
Very good. Does anybody else want to comment on that? Has your club done anything for the federation? Past, present?
I think for the most part, we can all probably do more than what we have in the past. It takes all of us to make it run. It can't just be one club or 3 people doing it. I've been there myself on other things, and it's very hard to do. It doesn't make very good outcome or successful.
Right. Okay, so that would kind of lead into number 3. So the federation is not a club. We're a combination of all the TBF clubs. So I'm going to comment on this one. So when I first took over as a presidency, me and Des had some talks, and he was talking about, trying to get help and trying to get a tournament going. And somebody once told him, said, "You're just another club. The federation is just another club. We're not just another club. We have no clubs. The federation is not a club. We are all the clubs put together." So I say that so that when the federation is holding an event, every club should feel proud about a federation event and say, "I'm part of that and want to make this a spectacle of what your club is doing along with all the rest of them as a state organization. What are we doing to help this organization?" Because if one club falls down, the whole structure falls down. So if all of us were there helping out with the federation events, it would be a much stronger organization as a whole. So, as we're putting in for permits and stuff to run an event, we're not doing it as just another club competing for a permit to put on a tournament. We're doing it as all the clubs put together. So all of you out there, we're all together in this. So when I say a federation event, that means every club. That means Chelan, that means Spokane, that means Long Lake, that means Mount St. Helens. That means we're all putting this event on. All of us. Not just one club, not just 4 guys that are federation officers. It's all clubs. So I just want to make sure that everybody kind of gets that in their mind that we're all together in the federation. Does anybody else have a comment on that? Okay, I'll keep going. I don't want to take too long on all of this. Okay, so what is the purpose of the federation? And I think we've talked about that already. Political power and a stage to get to the national office. Those are our main purposes. So we have somebody writing up there. I don't know. Okay. So I'm just going to answer those real quick. Those are our main goals that we're trying to accomplish. And we have the youth director here, or at least he will be the youth director after we have some elections. But youth director is the same thing. They're trying to get the high school level onto a national stage. We're trying to get scholarships for our youth and present opportunities to our youth. So that's what we're trying to do on the youth side of it. They're also there if anything else we need assistance from. Okay, so let's go into the next one. Should all clubs be assisting the federation? So again, that goes into what I've been discussing. Does anybody else want to comment on that?
Yeah, I think they should be, like tasks just like the Jamboree when we go into, things like that. A little more help in certain situations, especially when we do our events like the Big Bass, that would be, definitely helpful. I think, setting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, breakdown mainly in the afternoon. The morning's the easy part, but the afternoon, a little
Right.
bit more help.
I think a lot of that, just to add on to that, I think a lot of that comes from that mentality that Tony just spoke about, as far as a point of view of guys looking at it as just a club event or a club tournament versus the federation putting it on, where we need to get rid of that mentality and look at it like, hey, we're a part of this event together, right? It's not just because I'm fishing today, I don't have to do anything,
Yes.
We got to get
Looked at it as like they're at an open event being put
Right.
on by somebody else.
Right. We need to break that mentality.
Are there quite a few teams split up between the state on the west side and the east side so that we have those opens on the west side? The west side can help out. If we're about the east side traveling to help
I
out,
think we're 6-4.
and vice versa. So I kind of split it up a little bit. Like, hey, if we have a tournament on the east side, we're looking for these guys really to kind of step up and help out. And then on the west side, our responsibility to step up and take care of it.
Right.
If we're split up even.
Yep. Yeah, we're 6-4. So yeah, there's 4 on the east side, 6 on the west side. So we're heavy on the west side, and a lot of the Lake Chelan guys are on the west side too.
Yeah.
So we're definitely heavy on the west side.
So maybe we do some recruiting for the east side, get more clubs.
Yes.
So in many ways, we need some recruiting on the other side.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. So yeah, so they're saying it's hard to hear people except me because I'm probably closer to the microphone and talking louder. So if people just want to talk up a little bit when you're talking, we'll try to make sure that we get that. Thanks, Jeff. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep going on here because I don't want to take all day hammering on these. These are just thoughts I want to make sure that we all take back to our clubs. Just thinking about these things as we move into the future. Okay, unity on sponsorship sharing. So my thoughts on unity on sponsorship sharing. Say Mount St. Helens has a sponsorship agreement with Les Schwab. Les Schwab wants to just help out Mount St. Helens. That's great that they're helping out Mount St. Helens, but maybe Les Schwab wants to help out Mount St. Helens and 9 other clubs too. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. That's okay if they don't. If they just want to help out Mount St. Helens, that's fine. But maybe they want to, help out 300 other people as well. So as we work with our sponsors at the local level, we can be a voice to the whole state federation as well. Yes, you can sponsor my club, or you can also sponsor the entire state. And maybe that's the way they want to go, and they just don't know that avenue exists. So, if we can present that to our sponsors as we're talking to them, maybe it's something that they want, and then it helps out all of us that way. I don't want to take anything away from the local clubs that do their own legwork to go out and find their sponsorships. But if the sponsors want to do more than what they're doing, let's let them. So that's my ideas there. Does anybody have any ideas on that or thoughts? Okay, I'm not gonna hold it too long. If you had a burning thought, we could go in on that. I'm already working on a few from Jeff. All right, thanks, Jeff. Sounds great. All right, and then the same thing is talent and labor sharing, and that kind of goes back to everybody helping. I know there's some people out there that are really talented electronically that can do some video stuff, and there's people out there that know how to run drones. And there's people that are welders. If we needed something welded, whatever it is in the community that you're good at, maybe put your services out there for the federation or other clubs. You know, just because I'm part of Long Lake doesn't mean I'm not going to help out Mount St. Helens if they need something, if I'm good at it. You know, we're a big community. If you've got something that you're good at, put it out in the community of the TBF community, not just your club. And let's see if we can share some of that labor and talent around, you know, and not just hold it into your small group.
So, Paul, when you put out your flyers every so often about what's going on, is there a spot on there that maybe we can put, if I was good at something, we have a little excerpt, like classifieds almost, that would list where to go if you need X, Y, Z, E-N-E-A-O?
Are you referring to the Casting Chronicle?
Yeah, whatever, yeah. If there's-
I can do and put anything in the Casting Chronicle we want to, and I can also create a link on that, on the web page itself, or the link back to a comment or place to place notification, so I can tie those in together pretty easy.
Just a thought.
Yeah, definite great thought. Yeah, that Cassie Chronicles is going to be great for us to be able to share information. Anytime, any way we can share information between us, like having these Zoom meetings, having in-person meetings, the Casting Chronicles, our Facebook, Instagram, all of that's are just different ways of communicating. So anytime we can communicate, we're just going to make us stronger. Des?
So I just thought about something. Paul and I were talking about this earlier today. Why don't we just ask everyone to participate in that? Because what we still need here on the federation side is updated information with all your members in your club. Like we have old emails, we have old addresses, we have old phone numbers. And if we already have something in place that can bring all this information to us in one spot, let's use it to get updated.
The problem with that is to get the information to everybody, we need to update those emails and stuff. And a lot of people still may not have seen the Casting Chronicles because it may have went to their spam. So in a grand scheme of what the intent of this was, one, to highlight the anglers of the state, and two, to help bring some sponsorship or advertising or a way to create more revenue that we can share with the anglers of the state. And to do that, the more views, the more push out it
Have
gets,
to do a leave that list very
the better,
Thanks,
the
Jeff.
better that we get, you know, in the analyticals. Now, I've only had this out 2 months, and we've hit over 9,000 views, which isn't too bad. But it's like reaching out beyond where we are. And more people that like it, open it, share it, push it out, this thing can expand well beyond where Washington State's at. And that's what brings in the advertisers, the donors, and everything. So it's very important the whole share. And it's something every club member and president can really do that just takes a little bit of time. Share the, you know, every post, just keep pushing everything out there. The more content and analyticals we gain in Facebook, the web pages, things like this right here is crucial to growing what we all should want to love. I mean, like I said, I come from Alabama. It's cutthroat fishing here. Here in Washington State, it's more like family. And I want to see the family grow.
Okay. Let's see. Not everyone in our club uses social media, so email is important to be. Yep, exactly. Yeah, everybody has a different way of communicating. Some people will only communicate by text. Some people will only communicate social media. Some will only do email. Some will only do a telephone call. My dad's one of them over here. So if you don't call him personally on the phone, you're not going to get to him in any other way. And there's other people that are out there that like that too. So you got to remember, a lot of us fishermen are the older generation, and you know, they don't know social media. They don't know YouTube. You know, that's all Greek to some people. So we got to be conscious of how to communicate with everybody and make sure we have different forms of communication. So the more forms that we have and we can use and utilize, the better it makes us communicating to each other. Okay, I'm just going to keep going on here because we're almost done with this list. In what way can the Federation help your club? So I'm going to answer this one. So the Federation, one, we have our insurance policy. So the insurance policy that the Federation have is probably one of the best in the whole United States. And it's done because the entire United States as a whole gets their, what do you call it? The policy. The policy is done by the national office. So we get it a lot cheaper that way. It's a great program. I believe it has up to a $5 million cap, it's $1 million per instance. So if something was to happen out there, somebody got injured, hurt, killed, whatever, That's what that policy is for. It saves all of us in case an accident happens. Then each group is not liable. You know, if Lake Chelan put on a tournament, somebody got killed out there, and we didn't have this insurance, and everybody in Lake Chelan, officer, and that they would all be liable for that. So yeah, so just here at the national semifinals this last year, we had a boating accident out there. It was 2 Oregon boats, but it doesn't matter, you know, where they came from. But one boat went right over the top of another boat. Luckily, they were going slow, and nobody got injured, but both boats were damaged really bad. That could have been a really bad, ugly incident. Somebody definitely could have got killed there. The guy that caused the accident was so distraught he had to quit. He was just broken down in tears. He was so distraught about it. So those things do happen out there. We're getting more powerful boats. We're getting more distractions in our boats with all of our electronics. There's just so many more people on our waters, paddle boarders. You can't see those guys, you know, when they're out there low light conditions. Things happen. That's why we have insurance. The Federation is there, and it's a great place to have that insurance. Also at the Federation, we have discounts through different programs. We have a VIP program through Minn Kota and Humminbird. I've used it this year for Humminbird. I put new electronics on my boat, saved me a ton of money. And I think Adam's used it. A lot of people in this room, I believe, have used that. A lot of other people have too. They've done really good. The program, I believe, is expired for this year, but we'll have it again for next year. National office has to broker that, but as soon as we get details, we'll have that going again for next year.
Tony, do you mind if I interrupt you
Sure.
just a second? So let's go back to the insurance. Now, most of the TPF clubs understand that we utilize the insurance for our club events, but you guys know a lot of other clubs out there. And if they're putting on tournaments without that protection, it would be prudent of us to let them and inform them. I do know some clubs that are going out there doing tournaments and buying their binders. Their binders are costing $200 plus for every event. It gives them a financial benefit to join a federation to help make the federation grow. And you guys know these clubs way better than I do. So, you know, just something to kind of, like I said, talk to people about.
All right, looks like Kim Scar was trying to say something there. Kim, if you could type it in, it'd be better, and then we can read it.
I think he's on his phone.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, there's definitely ways the Federation can help. You know, the money that it costs to join the Federation, you know, if you were to use our VIP program and buy one thing, you would have saved the whole club, the entire membership right there, just by, you know, one person using the VIP program. So, and there's a lot of different discounts that we get. We're working on more and more every day. Paul is working hard out there with sponsors. We're trying to get as many discounts as we can through the Federation to help our members out. So those are ways the Federation can help. Okay. Number 9 on my list is what could the Federation be if all the clubs united in all our efforts? And I think that's what we're discussing here today. If all of us were working, 10 clubs working united together as one big organization, what could it look like? And I think this could be a really great organization through the state. It's the way it started in the beginning, and we kind of got away from that for a long, long time. All the clubs went off their separate ways and did their own separate things. And now I think it's time to bring us all back in together, and let's all work together and make this a great organization from top to bottom, everybody helping.
It'd be nice to see the Jamboree back over to 200 boats.
That would. I would love to see that. And the Jamboree is not just TBF, it's TBF run, but that's an open event for all clubs in the state. You know, I want to see Potholes Bass Club there. I want to see, you know, Capital City there. I want to see the clubs that are not part of the TBF. I want to see every club in the state there because it's all clubs competing against each other. So,
Right.
So bring a team.
And going back to that, this is the 55th annual, right?
Yeah, the one coming up.
We want to make this special without getting away from tradition. Now, you know, in the past, we've sold T-shirts. This year, I'm putting T-shirts in everybody's hands that shows up. We're going to have a commemorative T-shirt. If you guys got some ideas on how to make this special, something that we can work into, let's get that you know.
I think, like you're just saying, all clubs of the state are welcome, right? I don't think this really been published or put forth in the past, so I think maybe we can start that process now. I remember back in the Jamboree, I loved going to the Jamboree. It's probably the highlight of the year. You go over there and meet new people, and like I said, there was 200 plus boats, but You got a bag full of all kinds of goodies and a book, and it was just a huge. If I had to fish one time a year, that's what it would be with January.
Well, and right, but that goes again, you know, the club's working together and in one hand, so we got 350 members roughly statewide. Well, if each person reaches out to one angler that may not be a part of their club, now it's 700. And then they tell their friends, and that expands, the spider webs out. And that's where that partnership really, really helps the Federation.
Right. Definitely. So I think we can all see a vision where we're all working together and making this a great organization. So again, use our communication tools, email, telephone, social media, whatever we can do to communicate, to get back and forth. You know, clubs, let us know what you can do for us, what we can do for you. It's a two-way street. You know, work it back and forth.
Hey, you know what, Tony, this year, Bob and I are gonna commit to work together to get potholes, Bass Club.
Okay.
More. We fish there open every year, so we wanna talk to them about participating more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very good. Awesome.
One thing that I've enjoyed over the career of being part of the Federation, that's 50 years.
I probably can't hear you.
Anyway, is we always had a banquet, and we've done away with the banquet. And the banquet was, to me, something special that I could bring my family, my wife to, you know, and dress up a little bit and have a good time at a casino or wherever we held them at. And I think that we've lost that eye contact that we can have after the season is over. You know, we let our wives suffer a little bit because we're out on the boats all the time. I was fortunate my wife went with me a lot, but the banquet was the time when it was just one weekend, you know. Chelan held it so many times over there in Chelan, Kim Scar did. And I put on 15 banquets myself, me and my club, Palm Lake Bass Club. So I'd like to see that come back, if not annually, semi-annual, or you know, every 2 years or something.
We can definitely do that. So these are ideas. All right, building a community outside of fishing is a great way to solidify the goal, create unity. Exactly. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, exactly my dad's point there as well. It just brings us all together, things that we can do outside of fishing, anything we can do to grow and get connections. Stop the banquet because it costs the host one. Sorry, I missed the chat.
Oh, basically what he was saying is the reason why the banquet went away was the cost to put it on. It was taking up most of the state budget.
Yeah.
Well, the banquet was
Banquet
absolutely
was a moneymaker.
moneymaker.
So
I donated literally tens of thousands of dollars out of the raffle. Every banquet I held, I donated at least $1,000, several times to the youth organization.
right, because we had a raffle there. The raffle always made money. We also had a dinner, which we sold tickets for the dinner. Isn't that correct? So I think
Correct.
there was a money making off of that as well.
No, that was not money making. That was
Off of the dinner.
cost of the dinner.
Okay.
Whatever the event was.
So really, just the raffle was the money making part of it.
Yeah.
But you know, another thing that the banquet did is the banquet was that was a recognition of the state team.
Yeah.
We used to have a state team
And
that would go
awards
to
to clubs.
their regionals. Right, awards to the clubs. So it's not a bad idea. We're definitely going to think about that. See if we can instill that back in again. You know, we can have a November banquet again. So we'll look at that.
And that's before my time. So somebody who's had experience in it, please lead me in the right direction.
All right.
But they look
So-
really nice.
Yeah, I like the camaraderie, to get together and stuff. That's key, face to face. Like I said, I think of the Federation as a family, or the
So-
fishing community. So we should keep it that way.
You tie people together. I know you from fishing, but I don't know your wife or your daughter or whoever you might bring, your girlfriend, whatever.
So Paul,
You know,
what we did,
Don't bring your wife and your girlfriend.
what we did at Lake Washington at the
Yeah,
boat
that's enough.
with the guys going internationals.
Yeah,
We just pretty much did the same thing that was the banquet. That was the whole purpose of the banquet.
Right, no, and it's something makes perfect sense. Like I said, I came late into the Federation, so a lot of the history and the things that worked back then before things got away, if they worked, it was enjoyed, let's bring them back. It should be an important part of this.
Okay. Well, we will definitely work on that.
Or a picnic. It
We'll
could
work-
be a banquet or a picnic in the summertime.
Picnics are hard because people like to fish.
Yeah.
Banquet's a great thing because it's something we can do in the off season where we can all see each other and talk fishing when we can't go fishing.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to move on to the last point here, and that's motivate, not criticize. So if you got an idea, bring it up, and if you got a problem you have, well, bring an idea with you. One thing I was told in my working career is that if there's a problem going on out there, bring a solution first. Yeah, bring a solution to it.
So you're just
Yeah.
complaining.
Yeah, I don't want to hear complaints, but if you got a complaint, I'll listen to you if you got a solution. So, and then just try to motivate what we're doing here. We're trying to make a good organization that everybody loves and wants to be a part of. That's all we're trying to do in this complete organization is just make something that everybody's proud of.
And I would say we learned the hard way, now say Alan's on a few things over the years. And if you have something negative to say, social media is not the place to bring it out.
No.
Just reach out to the person in the club you have an issue with and do it one-on-one, not on public forum where everybody can see your dirty laundry. Everybody's not going to get along. We're going to have hurt feelings here or there. It all happens. But deal with it one-on-one, not in front of everybody else.
Yep.
All look bad at that point.
Definitely. I agree. Social media is not the place to air your dirty laundry. All right. So we're going to go on from that. So those were just some thoughts I wanted to put out there as, I've been president for the last 3 years and I was vice president for a year before that. So I put 4 years and an officer into this organization. And there are things that were on my mind that I worked on the whole time that I was here as president. And I want to try to continue the growth going forward with all the clubs that are out there. So it's just things that I wanted to put out there for as club presidents or representative of your club. Go back to your club and try to have those ideas. Hey, we got Bill here. Hey, Bill. All right, we got one more joining us here. All right, so
Bill.
we're going to have our elections here in a little bit. But for right now, I'm going to do kind of an outgoing message because I am not going to be part of the nomination part of presidents going forward. So the guys that are here are going to see this, and the guys online won't. Maybe I can hold this up a little bit. But I'm just going to kind of give an overview of what I've done over my time here. So I'll show a picture up here to the screen. People can probably see this, and I'll pass these around. So this is the very first tournament I held. This was at Lake Washington, and these are some of the winners. We gave away $7,200 to the first place winner there. Here's the next tournament we held. This was at Potholes that same year. We gave away $10,000 at that tournament. Right here, $10,000 got given away at this tournament to first place. Here's the next tournament I had. This was at Lake Washington the next year. So I believe we gave away $7,600 at this tournament to the first place, plus more. Here was at Moses Lake that same year. I believe we gave away about $6,800 to first place at that tournament. Here was Lake Washington this year. We had a little less turnout. We gave away about $3,500 to first place at that tournament. Here was our big bass event. We lowered our entry cost, so the payout wasn't as much, but I believe it was about $2,500 went to first place in this event. It was the first time we'd ever done a 10 fish bag weigh-in. So that was a very awesome thing, and I hope we get to do that again. Talk about people going onto the national stage. Here's Joel Leenan at the national stage, pictures of him, at the national stage. Here's Chris Lambert. So Chris Lambert at the national stage. This is what we do. We send these guys on. Those guys fished as Washington State champions. Here's a team of Washington State guys at one of our national semifinals, all wearing their jerseys. So just different things that we've done here. Here's our youth guys here for this year. So these guys pulled in $200,000. Do you hear that? $200,000 for winning the high school event this year. We got one of them here in the room. So at our high school level, we're doing great things at the high school level, and we hope to be able to continue that. So please just help us try to get that going as well. Another thing we did, here's the barge that was built many years ago that was at Banks Lake. We were able to sell that this year thanks to Kim Scar. Thank you, Kim. We turned that barge into the trailer. So now this is the tournament trailer that we take to all of our tournaments now. Has all of our equipment held in it. So that's kind of something that's very cool. Here's a cover of the Bass magazine from, so this is the MLF magazine. The cover of it has a full article that I was in. So had a full article of me giving away $10,000. So, you know, that was a very cool thing that happened on my watch. I was on radio shows. There's a lot of things that's happened over the last 3 years. And so this organization has been doing some really, really good, fun, cool stuff. And we're going to keep it going and making it bigger. And like I was talking earlier, if all the clubs are combined and all putting part into this, how big can we make this and what can it look like? You know, I'm excited for what the Federation can do and what we can be. And, you know, just seeing these pictures and what we've done over just the last couple of years, it's exciting to me. And, you know, I'm proud of what I've done and where I've taken this. And I know Paul's just going to continue this and make it go even farther. So that is my discussion as outgoing president. And my message to everybody else is be involved. You know, let's keep united, be involved, and let's keep this train rolling. Let's make it bigger and better. So, does anybody else have any unfinished business with the Federation? I don't think that we do. I don't know if we have anybody. I see Darren joined us here online. Sorry, Darren, we're not listening to people because we had a bad feedback problem. If you have anything you need to share with us, you have to type it into your phone and we can read your message. All right. So we're going to elect some officers for 2026. We've got 5 positions that are going to be open. We've got president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and the youth director. So I'm going to start out, we're going to go backwards on this. We're going to start out with youth director. So right now, Randy Thompson is our current youth director. I believe Randy is not going to be running again for this next year. So I need nominations for a youth director for 2026. Does somebody want to nominate somebody or have a nomination?
I'll nominate Dave Weston Carey. Is that right? Did I say that right? Hey, I'm Southern, so everything that's just not straightforward. I struggle with.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a nomination and a second. Do we have any other nominations for a youth director? If anybody's online, just pop up there. Okay,
If not, I make a motion, we close the nominations.
okay, I'm not seeing any pop-ups online. We have no other nominations. And so by default, Dave, congratulations. You are our new youth director. Welcome aboard. We're glad to have you, and I know you're going to do an excellent job. I know you've already gotten to work on some of your stuff, and we'll keep working with you to get you going. All right, so next on our list is treasurer. So Dusty Kenley was our treasurer this last year. Do we want to have a nominations for 2026 treasurer?
I'll nominate him again.
Dusty, want to do it?
Second, want to do it. Going forward to do it.
All right, so Dusty has been nominated. Dusty, do you accept the nominations? All right, so we have Dusty. Do we have any other nominations for treasurer? Somebody want to fight Dusty about this?
And
Kim Scar's got, he's yellow around his box, but I don't see him typing anything. Let's see if we go into our chats here, does that show all our chats?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I think the mic is too far away. Okay, so we have no other nominations for our treasurer. We're going to close nominations for treasurer. So congratulations, Dusty, you are our 2026 treasurer. All right, next up we have a secretary position. So we need a secretary for 2026. Do we have any nominations for a secretary position?
Want to jump?
click on the jump to the latest there.
We
Jump to latest.
Yeah, it's jump to the latest at the bottom.
Alright.
There we go. All right, Jeff is clapping.
Oh, there.
Okay, so we definitely need a secretary. So Paul is our outgoing secretary, and we're going to save Paul for another position. So we need a secretary within the state here to be able to record minutes. There's not a whole lot that the secretary does. They record the minutes of the meeting. That's pretty much about it. They also are on our bank account to be able to keep us honest on our bank account. So, does anybody want to volunteer as a secretary? No volunteers? And we're going to have a secretary here somewhere within the state. If we don't have a secretary here, it's going to fall in the hands of the president until he can get the office filled.
I'll nominate Jeff Turk. If he's willing to take that position. We were saving him for IT, but he could probably have a vote.
Could incorporate too.
The two could be incorporated. Jeff Turk, would you be willing to take on the secretary position for the Federation?
Do it, Jeff. Do it.
Yes. Caps, all caps.
Yeah. He says yes. All right. So looks like Paul has nominated Jeff, and Jeff has accepted. Is there any other nominations? I'm not hearing any, so we're going to close the nomination. So congratulations, Jeff. You are the new secretary for the Federation, and we'll get you going on that. If you have any questions, just holler to any of us. We'll help you out. All right. So we need a vice president position.
Question. What is tournament director?
Tournament director is an appointed position by the president.
Okay.
It is also a board of director.
Yeah, but if you want to volunteer,
No. I just wanted that just to be
So-
defined so that people understand
Right.
how that works.
So, tournament director and all of the committees. So, the directors. So, east side, west side, all of those directors, those are all appointed by the president. So they're not voted on, but they are office positions within the Federation. So they are all board of director positions, and they all have a voting power for a board of director decision.
Right.
But the voted on positions are the ones that we're going through right now. So we're going to go through vice president right now. So we have open nominations for vice president. Would somebody like to nominate somebody for vice president?
Open position. Open.
Nominate the.
Yeah.
Just sit here minding my business.
All right, Dusty has nominated Dez. Dez, will you accept the nomination?
I accept.
Dez accepts the nomination. Do we have any other nominations for vice president? I'm not seeing anything online being typed.
Refresh.
He wants a refresh. It looks like we have a single nomination for vice president. So by default, congratulations, Dez. You are 26th vice president. All right. Now we have a open position as president. I am stepping down as president this year, so we are looking for a nomination for a president of the Washington State Bass Federation. Do we have a nomination?
I nominate Paul.
All right, we have two people nominating Paul Bean for president. Paul, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Paul does accept the nominations. Do we have any other nominations for president? I'm looking online. I see nobody. I see nobody raising their hand. Jax, do you want to be president? Okay, Jax doesn't want to be president yet. We'll wait a couple years. All right. So, by default, congratulations, Paul Bean. You are our new president, 2026 and beyond. So, congratulations, everybody. Let's give them a round of applause. All the office positions. So, Paul, I will be in touch with you to get the power turned over to you from the national office. We now have it in our meeting minutes, so that is now legal. We will also get these meeting minutes to Dave. so that he can set up bank accounts for the youth department, because this now makes him official youth director. We can do that. We can transfer our power through our bank accounts as well. We'll make sure that we get all of our offline stuff taken care of and all power turned over to Paul and Dave as the youth director and new president. And the other powers, we'll figure out what we're doing with that stuff too. So I'm going to look for a day one speech and a vision from the newly elected president. So I'm putting you on the spot here, Paul.
Hear it.
Yeah, y'all get ready. It's gonna be long-winded. Now, honestly, first off, I think we all owe Tony a huge thanks for what he's done to rebuild the organization. And that goes out to Dez too.
Thank you, guys.
These guys not only brought it back to life, Dez kept it going.
Thank you.
Tony come in, brought it back to life. What you're seeing from the Federation has been their hard work that's got us here. Now, me coming in as new president, I want to take with what they've done and try to continue to expand it. We talked earlier, Tony talked earlier about club and the Federation as a whole and sharing and partnership. I like, as I've said many times, you've heard me, I think of the Federation and the anglers in the state as part of the family. Coming from cutthroat fishing in the South, there's not an angler out here that I haven't met that, you know, hasn't been friendly or kind, and I'm the new guy on the block, right? And granted, well, okay, I'm gonna keep it, I know. Anyway, but we are growing something, and the more we come together, the bigger and better we can make things. And one of that way is by sharing posts, getting information out there. I'm trying and working hard to try to bring in new sponsorship. And everything that we do in the Federation goes back to the anglers. Now, I'm here to help the clubs in any way. We've got the new trailer, the weigh-in stuff. Clubs can reach out to me. I have no problem coming out to your open and helping, coming out set up, you know. And anything else I can do. As I can pull in some sponsorships, I want to be able to bring some of that sponsorship out to those local events, but it's going to take a little time to get all that put together. But everything that I can accomplish is everything that we accomplished together. And it'll be shared that way. I'm looking for the help, support, and ideas from the clubs and members. They said we're all one, and this is all of us. So all the members are a part of this federation, and I take that to heart. So we want to grow on the high school program. We need some help on the east side over there with the high school section on that side. We've already contracted to have a booth in a sportsman show, right, where we can get information out. I'm looking to put together videos from the clubs about their presentations. I've also, many of you know, I've started the Casting Chronicle, the online magazine. This also is to not only showcase the anglers just in the state of Washington, but to help bring information to the community and bring sponsorship to the Federation. I'd like to, at some point in time, bring high schoolers into this mix with videography, creative writing, expand this out into a community that's not even part of fishing and bring in more of a family. So, like I said, I'm the new kid on the block, but I promise I'm going to work to try to make this federation everything it can be, and I can only do it with y'all's help.
Takes everybody. So it's all volunteer based. We're all volunteers. So it all pays the same, no matter which position you take.
I would say, speaking of that, no, especially for Dave coming into it and watching me and with Randy, captains for the kids. It's huge. So on the west side, if he's out of the tournament over here, the more we can step up and help be captains for here, and then send me on the east side. So there's not as much travel to get the kids captains. But I know he had a heck of a time getting captains for kids to do these tournaments. So,
If people hear that online or didn't hear that, vote captains for the high school program. Desperately needed. Please volunteer. Put some time away for that. I've done it the last several years, and it's very rewarding. I've learned a lot of stuff from these kids. You know, watching Jax out there, some of the things that he does, things I would have never thought of doing. And these kids come up with some very unique, creative ways of catching fish, and it's amazing just to sit there and watch them. So volunteer, step up,
And it's
be out there.
It's the kids. Not everybody has a boat with their parents. So kids that don't have boats, you're giving them an opportunity to get out there, and we don't know where they're going to be at 10 years from now. They could be the president of the TBF Backs. You just don't know where it's going to take them. Giving them that opportunity or opening that world to them. So it's a huge thing.
Yeah, with the, one of the main goals for me in year one is to grow it, to expand it, right? And with that, more money, more problems, because guys are always an issue. But we're talking about having an email list or whatever to get in, so I can get access to all of the club's presidents, and then get access, even people, I have people in my neighborhood that used to tournament fish, but they don't tournament fish, but they would love to take kids out. So not just tournament fishing to have this guys, right? But just getting access to you guys and the presidents to use you as a springboard information out there to others as well.
Yeah, Dave touched on something very important there, guys. I need your club contact information. I've got the 2 tournaments that happened on the 25th. I don't even know how those finished. To put in the Angler of the Year points to even begin to focus on that. Just getting information out is kind of tough, not knowing who's doing what, not having the true contact information. So it's key. Communication is always key to any success, but in this case, yeah, it's even more so. And one of the things, and this is maybe something we can work on next year, but this year to try to help, like with the first tournament on the high schoolers, we piggybacked off of our tournament so that the clubs, people that fish that tournament, we can hopefully tap in to get help that day as well.
And it saves on getting a permit.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's $100 a piece basically for a permit. That gives them that bank account quite a bit. 7 tournaments is $700 for the year.
Exactly.
Sure does. Yep. Yeah, and remember, if you're volunteering to be a boat captain, you don't have to have a $100,000 boat to go out there and do it. Anything that'll get these kids out on the water, they're happy to go out and fish. So it doesn't matter what your boat looks like. Just get out there and volunteer. Help get these kids out there.
Maybe somebody's got a pontoon that's got a live well on it. That works. 16 foot and a live well is required, right?
Yeah. Okay. Do we have any other announcements?
Paul, Dan Anderson said that he's willing to continue his position. I think he's the conservation director.
Yes, he did. He talked to me about that this morning. I
Okay.
appreciate that. Adam, are you okay to stay on the west side?
Yes, sir.
Phil or Kim, are you willing to continue to help out and hold your part?
We can't hear him, but he's saying something. So
He said yes.
yeah, I think that was yes.
Heard a solid yes.
Yeah.
You can text one of us too.
And I don't know who else.
And then we have Phil Martin as our
Dang.
west side and the south. So he's our connection down.
Whatever you
I'll
need.
text him just so we get a call from him.
So you're willing to
Whatever-
continue
whatever
that role?
needs to
Yeah,
keep
who
going.
else we got in those roles?
It's right there at the bottom.
Yeah, well, we got everybody.
Got everybody.
Okay.
Everybody's agreed to hold their position that they have right now.
I appreciate it. Trust me, I can use all the help I can get.
We certainly know no one person can do this on their own.
No.
You don't have any vacuum in this, not going to go anywhere.
Well, and you guys know, and I put it in this last article. I wasn't around with the history of it, obviously, but Dez saved this organization. And we all owe a great deal of gratitude to Dez for what he did just to keep it to where we could bring it back to life. So, and like I said, I'm glad to be a part of it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes manpower down there. It takes people to sacrifice their time to do something that you're not getting paid for. It just comes from your pure passion and involvement to the Federation and that experience. But from my perspective and what kept me involved is that the Federation for me was the first organization that put me on a national stage, right? So that's my loyalty to the Federation. But it's tough. It's a tough ask, man. But at the end of the day, it takes participation and people to step up. I had so many guys over the years criticize so much stuff that took place, and it's like, okay, but what are you doing? Are you helping? Right?
Yeah.
Like the
Motivate,
number,
don't criticize.
exactly number 10 on our list, right? That's all. That's where that mentality comes from. So if we can just get those active hands involved, that's really all it takes.
I think that trailer's really gonna make it easier to haul our tournaments they put on with the big bass and all that. I think that trailer is really gonna make it more efficient instead of loading it in the back of some guy's boat truck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's gonna get logoed up this year, and I'm trying to find sponsors to add to that. So,
Paul, do you have someone in mind for tournament director? Okay, so we want to put that out to everybody online. We need a tournament director, somebody that's gonna weigh fish and do that part of it. So if somebody in one of our clubs would like to step up, we desperately need a tournament director to help out.
Let me ask this, is it an impossible ask to have a tournament director for the east side and the west side?
You can do it however you want, Paul, you're president.
Because, you know, that could take some of the strain off somebody who's willing to step into that position. If the west side guy only had to handle the west side tournament, and the east guys, east guys only had to handle the east side. You don't have that travel.
I don't think it's unreasonable.
Not unreasonable at all.
Many as you want.
Yeah.
Are you only having 2 events next year?
We're having, well, 3 counting the semi.
So it's the qualifiers.
Yeah, so the first event's gonna be April 4th on Sammamish. The second event's gonna be at the end of July, but that's a 2-day event. Day 1's on Banks, day 2 on Roosevelt. Thought we'd try something to make it a little more entertaining, give it a little new twist, try to draw some people out just for the entertainment or the challenge of it, you know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put it. We've been talking. We've had previous discussions prior to today, but I've already notified Paul that I'm still going to be assisting with the tournament directing at the qualifying events, the 2 qualifiers that we do for the semifinals, but not at the jamboree going forward. So if we can get some participation from that early and get that going early in advance, that would be helpful. We're gonna need someone to wave fish jamboree this year, people. Thank you.
Well, that's probably one of the easier
And it's so fun.
positions to fill, because
It is.
somebody,
It's fun.
So fun.
Okay, do we have any other announcements?
Where?
Santa Claus will be here at 5.
Santa Claus will be about to finish up at 5 o'clock. So I've turned this meeting over to you now, Paul. It's yours. If you want to adjourn the meeting, call for whenever the next meeting's gonna be.
Historical moment. You like it's a historical moment.
It's all yours. I'm turning it over to you.
Well, first off, it's a weekend, it's Saturday, I'm sure everybody got things they'd like to do. I'd like to thank everybody once again for their support, and I'm gonna leave the next meeting up to be determined. Sit down and think through some things, try to get the Zoom all straightened out. It's a new platform, so it didn't work very well. So I'm going to suggest we go ahead and adjourn.
I second it. 2:27 p.m. October 1st.
8:27. We're done.
First official people.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
I apologize, I got here at 10 this morning.
You've been out there and back.
I've been out here, went down to get something to eat, and I'm looking up last
You've been all the places.
and I'm thinking, why, are they all at Tony's? So I went and asked before I came in. Sorry, Tony.
You tell me your small.
Once this goes, I have a question. I just want to do it.
So-
Once the
We're
thing
talking
is
about-
done, I have a question, but I don't want to be out there to get us into trouble.
It's about.
Kids can pick up
Clip.
what they want to
Clip it.
get new kids that don't have stuff. I mean, not all of them reach stuff. That's still good.